he followed it up by saying, "Oh, good man, good, because I hate white people." I swear to God, that's what he said. I swear to God, I can't make this shit.
I feel like he probably didn't know where to go with it, so he just
yeah, because I hate white people, bro.
You're white,
bro.
You're at a rugby match.
The oddest conversation of it.
Yeah, dude.
So weird.
You gotta love. That's why you gotta love rugby. All the fucking awkward situations you get put in.
Welcome to $2 Steak, a pro wrestling podcast. I am your host, Aaron Varnum. Joining me today, as always, Tolbert.
Yes.
that's my line.
Big Mike.
Yep.
Wait. I'm so confused. And Cookie, what the hell is going on
We
here?
completely switched around. Mike's in the high spot. I'm
In Mike's spot.
In the
over
Mike
here
spot.
in the Mike spot.
And no, Cookie's in the normal
same
spot.
Normal spot.
Yeah.
Cookie, talking to your mic for me.
I'm right here.
Oh, thank you, Cookie.
There he is.
There he is. It's Sunday morning.
Oh, we are waking up. All of us are sore
Oh, yeah.
and tired and just I
Very
feel like
tired.
dog shit right now.
I feel like white crusty dog shit. Been out in the lawn.
Well, Tolbert had to go sling drinks all night too after playing rugby.
Dude, Friday night.
After
Last night.
Valentine's Day.
God damn.
Jesus.
Tell me about your weekend, Tolbert.
It was.
How was
it a blur,
Valentine's
man.
Day? Any craziness?
No craziness.
Any Slumdog Millionaires?
No slumdog.
Slumlords?
No slumlords. Thank God. Friday night was crazy. I was doing the dinner service thing at Caprice.
Oh, God.
I was nuts.
Caprice One, if you guys do not live in Wilmington, one of the fancier restaurants in Wilmington. It's probably in the top 10 fanciest restaurants in Wilmington. It's not really all that fancy, but the cuisine that they present to you is French cuisine. And it's
Yes.
very tasty, very good. It's got a great date atmosphere there. This podcast brought to you by Caprice.
Yeah, so I was there on Friday night.
So it's a big spot for Valentine's
Oh my God,
Day.
dude, we've been booked up for 3 weeks, and it's just from 4:45 to like 12. I'm just like making stupid fancy cocktails.
Were they still seating people at midnight?
No, we're still seating people at like 10.
I mean, that's
and
still
they're having
pretty
a
late.
3-course menu. So got through that. Had to wake up. We had a rugby match yesterday.
We had a rugby match yesterday.
So got about 4 hours, 5 hours of sleep. Got up. Played some rugby with the boys. Hung out all day. We had a good social, and then take a nap right back to work at Cape Fear Wine and Beer last night. And goddamn, Jesus, it was crazy last night. Downtown was nuts last night.
It was.
Y'all were out downtown.
We were out downtown.
Y'all
looking,
came by Cape Fear, hung out.
Right. We came to go urinate on the way home, and we stopped by Cape Fear
Yeah. So
after eating multiple hot dogs.
I will say that the beach was also pretty crazy.
Did you go to beach bars
I went
last
to the
night?
beach bars last
Cookie's
night.
young, man. He's still in that beach bar scene.
Diaz was in town, and I rarely get to see him, so I was just like, I'll go out with you. And Tommy was there as well, Jack, and a couple other people. So
yeah, it was a long night for all of us, I think. But I
It
went to
was
bed
long last
about
night.
5 after 5 this morning.
5 after 5.
I went to bed at like 4.
The current time is 5 after 5.
And I definitely texted the chat at about 3 o'clock in the morning. I said,
Wait, did I respond?
11:30?
I responded back.
Yeah, you said 11. Because I said 11:30 dash drunk Cookie.
Yeah, he's drunk trying to negotiate what time we're going to
I
do
don't know
this.
why I was still awake. I was like sitting here, like I think I was watching TV or something, and then like I was getting into bed and like going through the bed routine, and I'm like, who just texted me? And I looked, and it was Cookie.
You know what Aaron was doing? He was sitting here just daydreaming about that try he scored.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that.
Let's talk about the rugby
Big day
match that we
yesterday.
had.
Big day.
We had our first rugby match of the spring season for Cape Fear Rugby Club. It's the first time a lot of us have been back to rugby in a few months. Me, probably the longest, because I took a sabbatical during the fall season. I did not play. And I have not taken contact in a little while, and I went into this game, pumped, amped, ready to make some tackles and a couple yard runs, like how I usually play rugby. I am probably one of the lighter guys in this group of 4, And, you know, I'm not fast. Not fast at all.
No, you're a defensive player. He's terrible on offense.
I am a strictly defensive player in rugby because I come from a linebacker background in high school and college. Yesterday, we were having a match, and it was the last minute of the match.
Yeah, it was pretty much last breakdown.
It was
of
the
match.
last breakdown of the match.
And let's not be modest here. We were destroying them.
We were destroying these guys. We were up 69
Nice.
22
to 20, 69 to 20, 69
Nice.
to 22, and stuff started happening. I went for a pick and go, which is it's just picking up the ball and running, right?
Yeah.
And that's usually a consistent 3 to 5 yard play. You're not getting that far on a pick and go. It's something that it's short yardage, and I pick the ball up, and I black out, and I wake up, and I'm like 50 yards down the field, and I'm like, what is happening? Why am I on a breakaway? Why am I like running down the field alone?
And running it is putting it gently.
Yeah.
You
Jogging.
sauntering. He was so fucking tired.
He's like hitting his inhaler on the way.
I was so tired. And then I look, and I got a guy chasing me, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I see the try zone, and I'm like, I can make it. And I made it.
So you need that movie montage music, just like
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so I got my first 15s try yesterday. I've had a couple 7s tries, which do not really count, you know?
So let's take this back to the original breakdown.
Did you have someone chasing you, by the way?
he had one guy.
I had one guy chasing me.
Okay.
And so let me tell you guys can help explain the series of events that happened that caused me to get out there and do it.
I was on the sideline. I'll kind of paint this picture. I'm on the sideline, and then to describe this situation, how did I say it in the group chat? It was like the equivalent of a tag team roll up,
Right.
after a superstar returns and distracts the other team.
Correct.
Aaron got the roll up. It's because his boy Cookie.
Yeah.
Because of Cookie.
So one of Clayton's players sucker punched our captain.
Yes.
Smacked him right in the mouth, like totally uncalled for.
I was right there for it. I was in the ruck. I was right there for it. I was
literally last play of the game, last minute of the game, this guy sucker punched him. Tommy shows great reserve, doesn't do anything.
Right.
But your boy Cookie.
I couldn't help myself.
Cookie was like a pit bull on a leash. He was like going after
I'm
this
going
guy.
at those ankles, baby. I'm going for those ankles.
He was. He dived underneath. He like hit a rip move under one guy's arm to get at this kid.
I think it was Tolbert. I think
It was. So I'm holding Tommy back. Like, all right, don't retaliate, man. Let's just finish this game out. We don't need any cards. And he's calming down. And then out of my peripheral, here comes Cookie with the flying spear. I'm just like, I just dropped my hands. Like, God damn it, Cookie. So everyone's distracted, scuffling around.
There's 30 men on a rugby field when you're playing 15.
Right.
27 of them were in the middle of the field trying to figure out what's going on, and
Right.
then there's Aaron just sauntering down the sideline.
Ball was live. Ball was live.
The ball was live, and
played
I'm
to the
like,
whistle.
this is my chance to, have a good run. I hadn't had any runs. My parents were there, right? And my mom and dad have never, they know me as a defensive player. My dad knows me as a tackler, he knows I'm not good at catching. I'm not good at all this other stuff. And he's like, and there I was, just sitting there, and I saw this green cap running down the field very slowly.
Very slowly.
And there he was, my boy, getting the last score of the game. And I'm like, thanks, Dad.
And ruining the 69 scoreline.
Yeah. Wait, what'd you do after you scored, Aaron?
So I, in the heat of the moment, I put the ball down in the try zone, and I was gassed. I was fucking gassed. My body is meant for 10 to 20 yard sprints, not 75 meter sprints. Right. I put the ball down, and I was like, fuck it. And I did the Walter pose, the Imperium pose in the try zone.
It was a very Walter-themed day.
It was a very Walter-themed day. Every time somebody would get a big hit, and Mike got a couple big hits, we were yelling, Walter, Walter.
That 15 tried to come across.
I smacked
my
shit out of
God.
that guy. Props to Nick. Nick fed him towards me, and this little, he's probably 5'10", 170 pounds. Yeah.
Right.
He's running full speed, and I got a head of steam on me too, and I smoked him. It was awesome. Felt great.
Overall, it was a very fun match, and to cap it off with me actually scoring my first 15s try, it was one of the most memorable for rugby events of all time. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And full disclosure, like, I was gassed for an hour and a half after that run. I had to hit my inhaler probably 10 times. And like my mom's like,
you're at Henry's, just
yeah. So my parents came home and like we did a little bit of work around the house and we were doing some stuff. And then I took a shower and I'm like hitting the inhaler every like couple minutes. I'm still wheezing. I'm just struggling. Mom's like, golly, Aaron, you're not very in shape. I'm like, yeah, thanks, Mom. I'm 30,
I don't need
33 years old. Like, yeah, I know that I'm not like in the best shape. So there we go. So we had a very fun Saturday. Saturday is a rugby day. I hate that saying so much. Like,
it's Saturday's a rugby day.
It is.
Saturday's a rugby day.
What is better than fly trap on a good weathered Saturday?
It's not. Yesterday was a perfect day for rugby. It was not hot. It did not feel like oppressive. The humidity was not that bad. And all these things come together for one of the most memorable days of my entire life.
You did have to break the 69 score, though.
I'm sorry. It was worth it.
Final score 74 to 24.
To be fair, hanging 74 sounds a lot better than hanging 69.
Yes. Yeah. So I called my Uncle Roger. He's he played college football at Davidson. He's a big dude. He's come to see one of my rugby matches. He's all about it, and he's one of those guys that like he keeps me in check, and he always laughs at me. Like he's always. When I was a kid, we had a push-up contest, and he destroyed me in a push-up contest. You know, like he's always competitive with me. And I'm like, bro, I scored a 75-meter try yesterday, and he's like, you the man. And I'm like, full disclosure, there was a fight on the other side of the field, and I got the distraction and then just ran, and nobody saw me until the end. He audibly laughed for 5 minutes on the phone. Like he could not stop laughing.
It's a hysterical story.
It's so good. It's so me. So there we go. Anyways, let's talk about professional wrestling. Out of here, baby! All right, for our first matchup of the evening, Big Mike, you have got Will Ospreay and Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah. So normally I have like the dates and stuff.
It was
in New Japan.
Yeah, it was New Japan.
So is this after Adam Cole was at ROH? Did he go to New Japan and then?
Yeah, I think it was kind of like the times were about the same.
Yeah,
like,
they did have a partnership.
Yeah, they had a partnership back then.
So unlike last week, where we had Walter, just big meaty man,
right? Bumping meat.
This is just two pasty white dudes. Just I don't know. I literally. So we've established through this whole process that I'm much more of a story guy than I am
a flippy floppy
guy. And so I don't know the build up. It's just these two dudes in this ring, and it was a fine match. Nothing really struck a chord with me, and that's how I felt. It was just unmemorable. I like Will Ospreay. I liked his work. I like Adam Cole, but I like Adam Cole's character work.
I do too.
In NXT.
Yeah. Him with a group of guys like Undisputed Era, where he's kind of got like he's the head of this.
Yeah.
And at this time he was one of the Bullet Club guys.
Yeah. So like, what is like? Explain to I know a little bit about what is the Bullet Club.
I mean, it was basically New Japan's version of NWO. Like to boil it down, it was a bunch of the American guys kind of got together, or not necessarily American, because Finn Balor was one of the first ones, and it was a group of guys that were foreigners kind of coming in and taking over and getting together and starting this faction.
Yeah, so I'm sure if I knew that or like knew any of the lead up to it, maybe I would have been more interested. But this is obviously a couple years ago, because
It was 2016.
Ospreay has bulked up a little bit since then.
Right. And he's gotten a little tanner.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's your typical flippy match.
Right.
I did notice that they went for do you remember Adam Cole and Ricochet where he does the springboard and Adam Cole kicks him in the face? They went for something similar to that. And it looked good, but nothing's going to be as good as that.
No, it looked close to it. It didn't look like he had the connection like he did on that Ricochet Adam Cole match. Which I thought when that happened, we both jumped up. Yeah, and we were
like, was knocked out.
It was amazing. Like it was such a good spot.
Yeah, I think I was also a little disappointed in the match just because I'm just on this big bump and meat train, man.
We'll go back to big bump and meat next week for you, Mike. Mike is just going to be, instead of the greenhorn Mike is just going to have bump and meat with Big Mike.
I just want big meaty men.
You're gonna have just Vader matches. You're gonna have Scott Norton matches.
Stan
Hansen matches.
Why don't you give him a Too Cold Scorpio match? He's a big man who can flip.
He also bumps cigarettes off of us.
And he does.
At WrestleCon, we talked about this. Like, Scorpio comes up, he's like, "Hey, man, y'all got a cigarette?" And we're like, "We don't smoke, sir."
Fuck y'all.
I think he was going to square up on Cookie.
I thought he was, man. I was like, God damn.
So, all right. So, we have established Mike likes good tag team matches.
Well, I just like good wrestling, but I prefer storylines.
Right.
And, like, there was no
storyline,
and there wasn't even like ring psychology or anything like that. Like, there wasn't like ups and downs. It was just
a
match.
It was a spot show.
Yeah,
but even that, like Aaron warned me about it. I was like, this wasn't even a spot show. Like they didn't really do.
No, it was slower.
Things.
No,
it was just a wrestling match.
So when I picked the match, I see the two names, and we were kind of doing like a like stars of now, where they were then. And we were picking some of those guys. And I looked at it and I'm like, ooh, Adam Cole, Will Ospreay. So I picked it. And I kind of was like, this is not really a Mike type match. And so I know now Mike does not like flippy stuff.
I don't mind flippy stuff. I don't know.
It was a little different.
Entertain me.
I will entertain you with big man bump and meat next week. I promise.
Sounds good.
Goldberg.
No Goldberg. No Goldberg.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No Goldberg.
Aaron hates Goldberg.
I hate Goldberg so much.
What about Goldberg and William Regal?
That's such a. It's so sad though. It makes Goldberg look like a chump.
That match, or I just mentioned it one time.
You mentioned it a couple times because that was on the very first episode you were talking about it.
It's so bad.
It
makes him look like a chump.
God, like William Regal is just a man, and Goldberg is just a thing.
Man. Tell me you need 8 minutes. I'm going to give you 8 minutes.
Love William Regal, man.
All right, so Mike, with that, let's go ahead and go to the social media.
Social media. We were a lot more active this week on the Twitter and the Instagram a little bit, right? You had a post or two, right, Tolbert?
I tried to get Walter to follow us or like our
picture.
Well, Walter did not.
I'll mention I really appreciate it, and I audibly laughed out loud when I saw you. So we took a picture of us all in the Imperium pose,
right?
Inferium pose in our jerseys, and Tolbert @s Walter on Instagram, and then the last hashtag was Mike is Walter.
Because he is. He looks just like Walter.
So I really appreciated that. But we were a lot more active on Twitter this week. And by this week, I mean Friday.
Friday you were. You were insane on Friday night.
We were dog sitting and I was just spitting out tweets. Because, all Twitter particularly, but social media in general is just, a vocal minority just spewing shit out their mouths. And, we like to do that and be a little funny and all that sort of things. But I crushed it. I had a couple hits, couple misses, but one of the best ones was Sheamus. He had just beat, it was like a combo with Shorty G and somebody else on TV. It was terrible. It was bad. But he said, is there anyone else or is there no one else? And I said, dude, there's plenty. How about that Meat Mountain Keith Lee?
That's right.
I got 23 likes on that thing. Really? 3,700 impressions.
People like Keith Lee.
The one that I tweeted out that I thought would have done a lot better was, let me see if I can pull it up. Basically, I said if SmackDown was a Valentine's date,
right,
we would be excusing ourselves early, calling an Uber, and texting an ex.
Right.
And that didn't get.
I enjoyed it because it was Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and I hashtagged all the right things. I really thought that would have got a little more traction with the internet wrestling community, but I guess not.
No, the ICW is IWC is too smart for us.
Yeah.
Fuck you, wrestling fans.
Yeah,
They're the worst, man.
y'all suck.
Y'all are the worst.
We got in our little Twitter beef with Brad Shepard.
Oh my!
He hates
again.
Ryan Satin.
Yes, because Ryan Satin got a job above him for WWE.
Well, Ryan Satin liked one of our comments.
Really?
Yeah. Because he had posted a picture of John Cena with like a gun and just like a stone face, and he said, "Wrestling Twitter, if Mandy breaks Otis's heart tonight."
Right.
And I said, "There isn't enough anger and rage in this picture."
There's not.
Because I was ready to throw down.
So, and we watched that, and Friday night, that was an accident. I don't think she really broke his heart. I think that there was just a miscommunication.
Well, she was sitting there for an hour when Otis got a text saying that she was running late. So somebody is messing with Otis.
And we think it could be the real heel, Dolph Ziggler.
DZ, man. That bastard.
Well, should we just jump ahead? I'm going to have hits and shits this week.
No. So what we're going to do,
shits. Oh,
we're going to talk about that. We're done with Twitter right now until the shit list, right? I want to talk about Instagram real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because Tolbert and I went to a heavy metal concert Tuesday night.
This is a stoner metal concert.
It was...
Get it right.
What is that? Like, what's
All right.
slower?
Have you met Tolbert? It's his kind of concert.
There's varying degrees of metal, Mike. Lots of genres. You know, they're all different and they all intertwine as well. But stoner metal, right? These are stoner metal bands for the most part. Stoner metal bands, they play very loud. They play as loud as they fucking can. They play these slow, chugging, grinding riffs. There's no like pit. Everyone just like slowly headbangs. Everyone has like long hair, like really long hair. A lot of denim vests. A lot of satanic esque patches,
right?
A lot of black clothes, a lot of weed smoke. Oh my god,
there was a lot of weed.
Jesus Christ! You opened the door to Reggie's, it was just like a cloud of skunk.
So stoner
a lot of
metal
psychedelics as well.
Kind of come from the Church of Black Sabbath, and
yes,
you're
exactly.
kind of starting off with Black Sabbath and Ozzy and that kind of Tony Iommi kind of way of playing your bass, playing your guitar.
Yeah, and they make all
slow.
their instruments sound like they're from like the '60s, late 60s, early 70s. I don't know. It's a very eclectic bunch of people.
So we saw this one band called Church of Misery. They opened up for the Truck Fighters. Truck Fighters, a band from Sweden. Church of Misery, a band from Japan. And it was the single loudest concert I have been to in my entire life. I was wearing I put in earplugs, right? Because I've got bad hearing and I have to use my ears all the time at work. And I still could not hear myself think. It was the loudest thing. Yeah. And Tolbert's standing there, stoned out of his mind, with no earplugs in, and just being like, "Yeah, man, it's a little loud." He like looked at me and he's like, "It's a little loud."
Just like headbanging. Yeah. I was. Did
you get my hearing?
No,
dude, you get a contact just being in there.
No, I can't because of work. So so it was like,
but it was a Tuesday night, packed out show at Reggie's.
Right,
bunch of metalheads and their little metalhead girlfriends, but good crowd, you know.
So
what's this have to do with Instagram?
So Instagram, Tolbert posted a bunch of pictures from the show on the Instagram. There's a picture of Tolbert kissing me.
Yeah.
And
that did really well, actually.
Yeah, it got some really good traction on Instagram. I'll tell you one part. Like, so truck fighters come on. It takes them an hour to get their instruments tuned, and I'm just like, it's midnight at this point, and I'm just getting really antsy and ready to go. I'm tired. I'd been working. I'd been up since like 6:30 that morning.
I'm feeling good. I'm coming down from the half tab of acid I took.
And Tolbert's like, yeah, man, we'll listen to like 2 of their songs and then we'll go. And I'm like, okay, all right, that sounds good, Tolbert. 2 to 3 of their songs and we'll go.
Also, stoner metal songs are like 10 minutes long each.
Right. And I knew that going into this agreement. I knew going into this agreement that this was going to be the thing. I knew like I wanted to be out originally by midnight. And they just kept playing. They just kept playing, and I'm like, Tolbert, all right, one more song, and we're going. He's like, no, 2 more songs. He kept trying to bargain with me, and I'm like, no, Tolbert, one more song, and we're going. And
I was like a toddler, like trying not to leave.
Why?
Like, the toilet.
Why?
Dad, not yet.
Don't want to leave putt yet.
All right, let's get to the shit list.
Hits and shits.
Hits and shits.
All right.
Wait, that doesn't go with our theme song, though.
Well, this is my gimmick, and I'm going to do what I want.
All right, I'll still play. He's shooting. He's going wrong.
I just want to give a shout out to Mike. I think it's Digital. DIJITAL.
That would be digital, yeah.
He's a professional nerd, NWA for life, computer wizard, gamer, physical media is king, musician, toys, 3 Bengal cats. I fix old things. Family is love, Anna/Owen.
Oh.
But shout out to him because he actually responded to one of our general tweets into the universe, which
right.
don't do as well as our replies and things because
right.
we're not actually famous and nobody gives a shit.
Right.
But I tweeted out a picture of the old NWO WCW wrestling Valentine's, and then I said, "Did anybody rock these as a kid?" And he had a funny one. I deleted it.
You deleted?
Not deleted it. It fell off my thing. My computer froze. Damn it! I'm sorry, Mike. I'll get there. But he had a funny little reply, and I appreciate when people reply to our things. So I'm going to start shouting out anybody who actually interacts with us. Mike Digital said, the 90s, where no one said a word about second graders trading pictures of shirtless men in their underwear.
That's right. That's right. Nowadays, these social justice warriors would come in and they would ban those WCW cards.
Who posted the poster that said TLC is full of lesbians or something like that?
Oh, that was I sent that to you. Yeah,
you sent it to me. Yeah, that's
I sent that to you.
The 90s, man. You can say whatever you want.
No political correctness back then, and it makes me uncomfortable
PC,
now.
man.
It makes me literally uncomfortable
TLC are lesbians.
to watch this thing. And Beyonce.
Oh yeah,
and Destiny's Child.
Yeah, that's right.
And TLC are lesbians, and I read it and I'm like, no.
But headlining the shit list this week, Dolph Ziggler.
Ziggler.
DZ. Hey, man.
You tell some bad jokes?
No, there's just a couple rules in the brotherhood, Don't
right.
cockblock.
Don't
Our
cockblock.
boy Otis has managed to get a Valentine's date with Mandy.
One of the hottest women in WWE.
And Dolph Ziggler just slides in and just breaks Otis's heart.
That's right. That's right.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, and it was a little anticlimactic, but I am happy that Mandy did not break Otis's heart. I don't think she's being malicious in this.
Right.
But Dolph Ziggler is just you know what? I think he's more of a weasel than Brad Shepard.
Really?
Yeah. He broke our boy's heart, man.
He broke our boy's heart. Dolph Ziggler, you son of a bitch, have made Big Mike's shit list. For the strong style, we have got Cookie, and Cookie has got one of the. It's a match between her.
It is a match.
Hiroshi Hase against the Great Mutoh, and it's a match. It is a match.
And
Cookie,
instant classic, man. It is something. A few things before this match began, man. Mutoh with the red lighting and his sweet ring attire, man. It's just the headdress, the all blue. He just looks like a badass motherfucker. He looks like he has that mystique about him, like the Undertaker does. It's that the unknown, and we witnessed this. I mean, he's a big man. He's even bigger when he was younger. We saw it at WrestleCade. He's a big guy, and I noticed that when he was walking down the aisle, people were grabbing, they were grabbing at him, trying to touch him.
Right. He pushed off one guy.
He did. He stiff-armed one guy. My boy Mutoh was straight throwing shoulders like Conor McGregor out there.
Right.
Mutoh, but he has an interesting style about him, the poses that he does, the dragon, the dragon poses as well.
No jazz hands though.
No jazz hands. No, definitely not. He has I call it the snap style. He throws his whole body into an elbow drop, or he may saunter over to somebody and then just whip the move out. He breaks down and hits moves with like a viciousness that's just very unique to himself. And Hase is just like a hoss. Aaron, you and I were talking about it. He's like Shorty G almost, where he has like the traditional wrestling attire, like amateur wrestling attire, and he has that look about him. He also has a sweet stash.
Amazing stash.
Gotta respect that about him. He just reminds me of a technical master like a Dean Malenko or a Taz when it comes to his suplexes. He's amazing. But let's go ahead and get to the countdown.
Cookie's top 4. Number 1.
Great Mutoh has Hase in the early minutes of the match, but it quickly shifted when Hase countered that leg lock into like a headlock submission. Into it, we basically was like cranking on his chin. But what got me was when Hase just like strikes a pose in the middle of the ring. This is what I was talking about. He just has that look about him that just we all know what that means. Like when you just cross your legs and you're just like holding your head up in the middle of the ring. It's like, come get me, sucker. Yeah. You can't do anything. But did anyone notice when Mutoh was getting choked, like Hase started talking to the ref in English?
Yeah, he said ask him a few times.
Yeah. He is Japanese, correct?
He is very Japanese.
Very Japanese, right? Okay.
He is very Japanese. And you know, that may, I don't even know why he would have done that. But yeah, like ask him was definitely English and like a couple other things.
You pointed out that the commentators were saying some English. Another Christmas gift. Is that what they said?
Christmas a gift. I feel really racist now. I'm sorry.
I let you do it because you have the best.
I'm sorry.
Japanese culture.
Because this match took place December 14th. So it was right before Christmas
92. Yeah, 92. Yeah. I wasn't even born yet. That's crazy. All right.
Oh my God.
Really?
Are you serious?
I'm 93.
And
so young.
And the part about that you were saying, Hase's in the middle of the ring doing this pose, I thought it was kind of cool because at that point, you know, Mutoh was giving him his best effort and it got stopped. Hase was able to stop it.
He slowed the momentum down.
And then Mutoh gets outside of the ring looking visibly frustrated. He's like he's looking for things. He's grabbing the apron and he's just like, you can tell that this man is frustrated with what's going on.
And I forgot to paint the picture. He comes out, he's wearing blue, he's wearing all blue, his face is painted red. We'll just keep that in mind. His face is painted red. But I mean, halfway through this match, I mean, he loses almost all of that face paint. But anyway, let's go on to number 2.
Number 2.
There's a hangman crotch spot, is what I'm going to call it, where, you know, when you pick someone up and you drop them on the ropes or you drop them on a steel guardrail, usually they land like, you know, gooch first. Right. On the objects. Hase, he hits like hamstring first, then takes the tumble out of the ring, and then again he hits the guardrail hamstring. Except this time it's like the other hamstring. Man, I always wonder, like, do you know whether or not they wear cups in wrestling? Because that looks like it.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, depending on the wrestler.
I never knew about that.
I know some people have in the past. Okay. And I probably would have.
God, especially for those spots like that. Anyway, go ahead.
Number 3.
Holy hepatitis. Mutoh gets fucking busted open. And we're talking about maybe 18 minutes into this is a 26
It's a 26-minute match, and it was a little bit past the halfway point. Yeah. So probably about 12 minutes into the match.
Yeah. They're building up to it, and this is a great story. If you have not watched this match, you need to watch it. They build it up great. Mutoh gets busted open with his own wooden stake. Now he's looking. He finds it. He goes to use it, and Hase takes it from him, and he just pummels him with the stake,
gouges,
or the spike, the wooden spike, whatever you want to call it, and then he just starts digging. He starts digging the spike into his face. So he does it, I guess, the hard way, I guess is what they would call that. And he even does his own little like blowing mist thing with his own blood. He just spits it out.
Yeah, so Hase, has some of Mutah's blood in his mouth.
Well, because he was pulling like a Moxley and just kept biting the wounds. Yeah, and then did he suck it out? Like it was disgusting.
Like Mutoh spits his own blood out. Hase spits Mutah's blood out, and it's oh my God, this is a different time. Oh, but why would you do this? Like, I mean, he's leaking. He is visibly leaking. And there are some great shots of Mutoh just head over to the side, blood dripping down onto the mat, pools forming.
It is a rough match to watch if you are squeamish with blood. Sometimes I am, sometimes I am not.
Yeah.
This was one of those times that I am not, because I thought it was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen.
So
in
what's
my
the difference
entire-
between the Dustin and that one?
Because
Dustin, I feel like was
that
too much,
was
man.
no, I think this was very similar, like the amount of blood. I think this may have been more blood than Dustin. And I don't know, man. I think the psychology behind it, Dustin had a very American way of like, so Bleeding in America is a little bit different. The way that they built that up, the story of Dustin's match, it was good, man. It was him and his brother
versus brother.
And it was a very emotional matchup. And I think I got maybe caught up in that. And I'm like, oh, God, he cut too far. This is a Mutoh and Hase. To me, it's about honor.
Yeah.
And this matchup, Mutah's getting his ass kicked. And he's not knowing what to do. He's the face in this matchup, the baby face, which is interesting because he's he's got a painted face and all this stuff.
Typically heel.
And he's losing. He's being out-wrestled by this schmo with a mullet.
Yeah.
And a mustache. And this guy takes Mutah's weapon against him and cuts into him. And then, like, halfway through the match, it becomes a redemption story for Mutoh to get back to that level he was before.
To get his honor back. He has to get it back. Now, what I liked about this is that he came out with his red face paint. He leaves with the crimson mask.
Right.
I thought that was also a great story.
So
I mean,
much mask.
there is one shot where Hase is choking Mutoh, and you just see the blood dripping down, and it just gets redder and redder. I mean, Mike said it looked like a busted cherry?
I said a wet Jolly Rancher.
Wet Jolly Rancher.
I said it
that was
looks
another
like
one?
when you like pour the roasted tomatoes out of the can.
Oh my God.
It was pretty fucking bad.
Like he's biting Mutah's cut. He bit it 3 times. What is wrong with wrestlers from the 80s and 90s, man?
That was before the blood tests and all that stuff. So,
This is like peak HIV era though.
Oh, exactly, man.
Oh man, like
Freddie Mercury just died, man.
when you're seeing Mutoh, and what gets me is with looking at Hase, and he's got like wrist tape and all this
It's
stuff,
covered in blood.
and his arms are covered in blood. His chest is covered. Hase is
tights.
not suffering at all during this match.
No.
Yet he is covered in blood, more blood than like a traditional matchup where somebody bleeds.
Good God.
And it's not his blood, and it's just fucking gross, but awesome. Number 4.
Suplex City. Clap, 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 clap. Mutoh takes Hase down with like 8 reverse suplexes, and then goes for his moonsault. He misses it, and he leaves a bloody streak on the mat.
It's like a bingo dauber.
Yeah. It's insane.
It is insane. And then Hase hits a suplex of his own. 2 count. He hits a Uranagi. Amazing move. 2 count. Hase hits a powerbomb. Still, just a 2 count. What do you expect from someone who's like... What do you expect from somebody who's bested a mythical beast?
Right.
The great Mutoh was born from a dragon.
Right.
He was revived. Wait, Tolbert, you know more about this.
No. It was Davenport watched that.
Oh, was it Davenport?
Oh yeah, he came out of left field with like actually cookie.
That's right. I forgot.
It was like the one thing he actually watched.
Oh,
He
I
got
forgot.
sucked into
the
that.
origin of the great
Mutoh vignette.
And like the cave and like that embryonic thing.
Yeah. Oh man, Mutoh hits 2 dragon suplexes of his own, 2 count twice. What do you have to do at this point? Mutoh is trying to get that honor back. So Hase goes down for a 3 count with the moonsault.
That's
he has
right.
to hit the moonsault. 2 dragon suplexes don't do it, so you got to whip out what no one else can kick out from, and that's the moonsault. Mutoh retains his belt, but then someone comes in with what looks like to be the WCW big gold belt, and it is
Masahiro Chono.
Yes. But Mutoh was having none of that shit. Mutoh literally just threw the belt in front of him, flicked some blood at the guy, and then walked off like a badass.
He was going to the American Red Cross down.
Get a little transfusion.
Yeah, I need to go get checked out. I can't deal with this right now. So talk to us about Chono. You said Chono was...
Chono was one of the aces, early 90s aces. It was like Keiji Mutoh, who is the great Mutoh.
yeah.
Chono, they were 2 big names in New Japan. They had a new class after. There was a early... New Japan comes in waves. in the 80s they had some big guys that were kind of like their top 4 guys, and then when Mutoh and Chono came in, they became like another wave of aces, what they call them. Some of the people they build their promotion around. They know they're going to be there for a while and want and know these guys have the charisma and stuff to keep the promotion, keep people coming in and paying for tickets.
Gotcha.
And so Chono was one of those guys. Chono, his style is interesting. We'll probably watch one of his matches in the near future.
I would like to see one of his matches. You said that he had to change his style halfway through his career.
So he changed his style. He went to America and was in the NWO for a while. I think he had a back injury against like Rick Rude or something. And like he definitely had to change his style up. He lost a little weight. And he was a big dude and looked like an amateur wrestler, and he came out in that tracksuit and stuff.
Yeah.
He was a cool wrestler.
He looked like he was. He looked like he was. And you said he was a part of the NWO, which meant he had to be cool, right?
He was too sweet.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the honorable mentions, man. The face paint, or should I say the lack thereof. Great Mutoh loses about 90% of it within the first 5 minutes. And man, as a kid, I always thought that was like so cool when you get to peek behind the curtain, so to speak, to see what a wrestler looks like. Like Sting, for instance. Like I remember watching one of his, like I only know Crow Sting, so I don't know like the younger Sting at all. But when I remember tuning into a match where he was fighting someone big like Sid Vicious, aka the Super Dad, aka the wrestler. We saw him. Anyway, Sting like his paint partially comes off, and I'm like, whoa, that's what he looks like,
right? And
the same thing I had with like the Great Mutoh. I was like, that's what he looks like. I thought it was always like cool to see something like that. But, Anyway, next honorable mention, New Japan Pro Wrestling Ring, man. It echoes and it sounds unforgiving. I was listening to something recently with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he talked about how the WCW rings were a lot easier. Like they felt better, but they made a louder sound, a louder impact. And I didn't realize how much that is, or how much that helps the audience, and it helps, I guess, with the storytelling and whatnot. But that ring, I mean, they did a superplex. There was a spot where they did a superplex, and it echoed throughout the stadium.
And it helps that it's in Japan, and maybe they're not yelling as much. They're not as loud.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. A lot of people have actually said that WWE's ring is very unforgiving. Like it hurts more than like the WCW and stuff.
Yeah. Well, now they have mics in it. I hear there's something like that.
Kinda. I don't know.
Mic'd up. I don't know. Anyway, who's the heel?
So
You said Hase was the heel.
Hase's the heel. Yeah.
Yes. So Hase at one point drags him across the top rope, which is a heel move. But does that even hurt? What is that like? It doesn't feel like
rubbing his eyes with the rope.
Yeah.
But I know what does hurt. When you take a regular chair, not a folding chair, but I'm talking about a regular like 90s fast food restaurant chair to the back.
Right.
And that's what Hase did. Hase took one of those to the back.
And he took it.
Now, all right, I'm at the end. Guys, this is obviously an instant classic. It's a 5-star match, right? But I got to bring up one thing.
Oh, God. Did Finn Balor lose?
No, he did not lose, thankfully. It's a 5-cookie match.
Oh, okay.
It's a 5-cookie match. But Mutoh at one point, do you guys remember him sauntering around the ring?
Yeah.
Picking up the apron cover one by one?
Right.
Yeah, that's how slow Aaron's try was yesterday.
Oh, come on.
You're welcome, buddy. Now hit the world's greatest tag team music. Charlie Varnum and Cookie Benjamin, the world's greatest tag team. We're out of here. And the Dawsons, oh yeah, baby, I'm talking to you. If you want a tag team match,
Don't call it the Dawsons.
I'm calling out this. I'm talking to you, Zane. If you want a tag team match,
no,
just kidding.
No.
If you want a handicap match against Varnum, against Varnum, you got it. You got it. Anywhere, anytime.
Don't go shooting on nobody.
He's signing checks that my ass can't cash.
I want no part of you, Zane. I'm out.
All right, for the high spot, Tolbert has a match with a big doink. The man with the big doink, the high spot.
Yeah.
You have got, Macho Man against Doink the Clown.
Oh, before we get started, can we mention this awesome T-shirt that you got me to wear?
Yeah, I forgot that you were wearing it. Yeah.
Who's on it, Tolbert?
So on the front is Mr. Bill Alfonso. with his whistle. And on the back we have Sabu and the whole fucking show. Mr. Rob Van Dam. And it says, it's got some weed leaves, and it says real friends. It's cartoon renderings of these people, and it's amazing.
It is awesome.
How do their eyes look?
Oh, they're red. And I'll post a picture on the Instagram, and RVD's got a little cartoon joint in his mouth, and it says real friends, because real friends, they don't talk.
And you wore that shirt.
Rat.
You wore that shirt to the concert.
They don't rat each other out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Everyone's wearing black, and I'm wearing like a bright white wrestling T-shirt. Just hanging out, but I'm never taking this thing off. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, so Doink the Clown versus Macho Man.
That's right.
Randy Savage. This is 1993. I remember Doink very well from when I was a kid.
Me too.
Because I just feel like they used him a lot in that era, that early 90s, late 80s era when we were coming up watching Saturday morning wrestling. But let's see. I'm thinking this is going to be a goofy match. It's got a little bit more psychology than I thought it would have. This is early Doink. He looks fucking mean. Some of those facials and stuff.
Yeah, so early Doink is a heel.
Actually intimidating. Yeah, he's very much a heel before we got to the Doink and Dink era. And he's a little more goofy, pulling out props and stuff like that. I'm not sure who many people have played Doink over the years. I've got the list right here. It starts with Matt Osborne.
So that's this one right here.
Matt Osborne.
So Matt Bourne, he's one of the
He's the original?
He's the original, and he's one of the best. I think he's the best wrestler out of the group.
Because he's got a big stature. He's got a mean, even with the clown makeup, he's got a mean fucking look to him.
He does.
You're like, shit. But long list, including Jeff Jarrett, Ace Starling, Dusty. I don't know who most of these people are. Steve Lombardi. Long
that
list
was the Brooklyn Brawler.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
But long list of different Doinks pulling all kinds of shit. Anyway, so
Pulling Doinks.
That's a lot of Doinks.
Pulling Doinks.
That's a lot of Doink.
On commentary, we have Gorilla Monsoon and
Johnny Polo.
yeah, which is I did not know this. Listen to it, but eventually it was Raven.
Correct. Johnny Polo.
Aaron's like, we were watching it this morning, and Aaron's like, yeah, you know the really annoying one? Yeah, that's Raven.
No, he's so annoying on the mic.
God, I wanted to
was
kill
like,
him.
someone unplug this. Someone cut his mic. You can tell Gorilla's a little frustrated with him too. Anyway, so Doink comes out. Big crowd. Definitely 1993. We actually see some guys with Steelers gear in the crowd. I don't know what it is.
It was in
man.
Columbus,
Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of matches with Steelers fans in the crowd.
It tells you the kind of fan that the fandom crossover there.
So the crowd is into it. It's peak Macho Man era.
Right.
Everyone's there to see Macho Man. The music hits. He comes out. Crowd goes wild. He's giving high fives. There's little kids with Macho Man action figures in the crowd. Everyone just fucking loves it. Eats it up. Interesting choice of outfit for Macho Man.
To say the least.
It's like he's wearing like a gay pride Mexican blanket.
Whoa.
That's what it is. What it looks like. That's what it's
I thought it looked like those early '90s, the hologram stickers that you get.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know.
It's
It kind of
wild.
has that Mexican
That's awesome.
blanket, that print kind of. But two interesting bodysuits. Of course, Doink is in his clown Ringling Brothers, clown suit. So match gets underway. Actually, first Macho Man grabs the mic. I'm like, all right, Macho's gonna cut a promo real quick, saying how he's above wrestling a clown and all this, and he just gives a, oh yeah, and
That's
That's all you need. That's all you need.
You got a big pop.
I'm done with my promo. Here you go, sir.
Here you go. I'm gonna fight this clown. So match starts. Right off the bat, Doink means business, man. He goes right in, man. We see some lockups. And it's an interesting dynamic between these two. Every time Macho Man will get a little bit of momentum, Doink just kind of slips out of it or pulls some tricky little move, to get the upper hand.
Yeah.
But we see some stiff shots. We see some, Some good elbows off the top rope. We see a clothesline over the top, sending Doink flipping over. Macho Man hits some, flying elbows off the top to the outside. So we see some good action, good back and forth. But like I said, every time Macho Man gets some momentum, Doink seems to just kind of roll out of the ring and evade him. Match continues. Crowd's getting into it. Doink's drawing some pretty big heat because it's Macho Man. Everyone loves him. Don't fuck with Macho Man. As the match goes on, there's a slight distraction of the referee, and I don't know what the hell's going on. Another Doink comes running down the ramp.
My word.
Yeah.
That's two Doinks.
There's two Doinks.
Two Doinks. We don't know what to do. Doinks. But he slides right into the ring like he was never even there. Crowd's yelling and just hating it. What's going on? Why do we have two clowns? What are all these fucking clowns doing around here? Match continues. We see some stiff back and forth outside of the ring. Macho Man, I love the way Macho Man sells. The way he kind of like does that extra little jump into the turnbuckle. Those head twitches back and forth. He'll stop to get the crowd into it. Well, Macho Man finds himself outside of the ring, and he feels something down at his feet. He's like, "What's going on, man? Someone's tugging at my damn feet." And he breaks loose, and he's trying to get the referee's attention. The referees, I don't know where they find these refs. The crowd's getting into it. They're pointing down at the bottom of the curtain. Well, Macho tries to continue the match, finds himself back outside the ring, and he's stuck. He can't move.
He's stuck.
He can't move. And the ref still doesn't know what's going on. He starts to count out, and poor Macho Man gets counted out because he's just that damn clown of the ring just got him locked in. He can't go nowhere. What's he gonna do? So
what a clown!
What a fucking clown! Macho's pissed.
Oh, nobody grabs my feet.
He chases that clown. He sends him packing, man. He sends him away.
That's right.
And he's not done with Doink, man.
No,
he's pissed. You don't want to anger the Macho Man.
That's right.
He's got a temper, and then they allude to his temper in the
He's got
commentary. So he goes back in on him, man, just whooping that clown's ass, and he sends him back up the ramp. So technically he lost by count out, but he didn't get pinned.
Did not.
We didn't want to see a single roll up, 2 count, or anything.
No,
not
really
even
don't.
not even close.
No,
not even close.
No.
But I guess you could call this a fun little match. Gave the people, I guess, what they paid for.
Yeah. You got to see that.
I've got it pulled up right here. At one point, Macho does dive under the ring,
right,
looking for Doink and chases him out. He does argue his case to the referee as well. So.
That's right. He wanted to speak to the manager, and he won. He won his case.
He did.
They reversed the call at the end.
Solid high spot.
All right, Tolbert, give me that haiku.
All right. Macho with the flair. Send them back to the circus. That's a mean damn clown.
All right, so that is going to do it for this week's episode of $2 Steak, a pro wrestling podcast. Next week, we are going to make sure to have Big Man Bumping Meat for Mike. A little less blood for Cookie, and I don't know what the fuck I'm going to... Tolbert is always a wild card for me, trying to find the weirdest stuff in professional wrestling.
Have you given him a Boogeyman match yet?
I have not. I tried to. One time I did look at Boogeyman. All of his matches are less than 5 minutes, and I wanted to give him something a little bit more to talk about. We could probably do him and King Booker at some point.
Oh, God.
That was a phenomenal little turn of events at WrestleMania. And maybe WrestleMania 22, 21, one of those WrestleManias that I watched. I think it was 22. All right, so that'll do it. Tune in next week for another exciting edition of $2 Steak. Mike, you're not going to be here next week.
I am not.
He's going to Orlando.
We might have to have a stand-in.
Maybe.
We might have to have a stand-in.
It's going to come back?
Well,
Peanut butter pancake?
I don't know.
Come back and pick up his girlfriend's dog.
He needs to. That dog is eating us out of house and home.
He's a good boy. I was a little worried after some of the stories I've heard, but Brody's a good boy. You're a good boy, Brody.
Thank you for listening to $2 Steak.
World's Greatest Tag Team out.